There's so many launches coming up, but is it the right time to buy? Okay, so the first question I'll ask, has the market really changed? Right? Okay, this was me in January, all right. Okay, January, I believe was quite a slow month for everyone. Okay, for most of the agents, we experienced that things are slower. So overall transaction volume was actually turning lower. This is for HDB, right? Second quarter, things has picked up. And then now in the final 2 months of this quarter, you see that it actually went up even more. Okay, so what I really feel and why I want to really do this seminar is because I noticed, right, compared to quarter one, the number of transactions has actually picked up a lot, right? So you see that the market has picked up compared to quarter one, all right? So what it means here is that we observe there's more transaction, and don't forget, people who sell HDB, right, they need to buy another HDB or they might want to go for a private property. So when transactions start to build up, the seller may become a buyer. So it may have a flow-on effect. Yeah, so I believe that in my personal opinion, based on the response I get for my advertisement for different houses, right? In fact, the last 2 months, things has really picked up. So this is one of the reasons we want to do this update, right? Next, right? Okay, we also observe this is for the private condo market. You can see this is condo, right? This is quarter one numbers over here. You can see, right? And you compare to quarter three is higher. Of course, quarter two has a very big number, is higher than quarter three, right? We still got 1 more month to go, so we don't know what's the final number. Now, so maybe next one, if you're very keen to know, you can let me and Bernard know. We maybe can do 1 more round of update when these final numbers comes, right? But really on the ground, we really feel it on hand. Things are getting more faster, more transaction on my hand, right? Okay, so having said that, so when market change, what should we do? Okay, so is it really time to buy already? Or prices is still high? Should we wait? No, will prices come down? Some of you may be first time listening to me or Bernard, so I think let me just do a quick introduction about ourselves. This is Bernard. Okay, he's actually now a division director with Promnex with more than 10 years of real estate experience. Yeah, in fact, he was experienced in serving a lot of corporate clients, especially for commercial properties. And he also won different awards, and he's also a trainer with the On Track team, right? And of course, he's the founder of Intelligent Home Buyer YouTube channel. Yeah, some of you may have catch me in his video channel. Yeah. All right, of course, this is his channel. You can see here, and he's doing his during his training in our group. Right, to go on. Okay, these are some of the brands that he's actually worked with. Some of them I think you can recognize. They are big brands that have actually worked with them, right? And of course, this is myself. Okay, I've got more than 20 years of real estate experience. So I always joke with people that I give half my life to the real estate industry, really. Yeah, and of course, I used to do training. Property training. I educate people how to invest in property, and also founder of my own blog, which is the On Track to SG blog, as well as On Track to SG social media. Right? There are some of the things I do. I do seminars, especially the one that's very special to me is this one in KL. Just draw the box for you. Yeah, because I was invited there to share with the Malaysians how to buy property while I'm a Singaporean. Yeah, so something very interesting. Of course, I do showroom visits at my personal blog, and I have a background in financial. Okay, so you talk about long-term retirement, all this, I'm quite aware. I'm also a estate planner. Like I have also estate planner educational background. Meaning, let's say if today say, hey John, now I got a 3 bungalow I must leave to my children, and how should I distribute them? How should I plan for it? These are things that we can do. I say, John, wow, why you start the seminar talking about crisis? Very interesting. All right. Okay. I just want to share with you how the Singapore market has changed over the years. All right. Okay. I just want you all to bring you all back to history. Okay. Can you all type in the chat? In 1997. Okay. This is the property price of condo. Condo prices, all the way from 1996 to the year 2023 or almost 2024 now. So the price goes up, goes down, goes up, goes down. Am I right? Okay. So the first question we'll ask. Okay. In the year 1997. You see a W here, there's a world event that happened. Can someone tell me what actually happens in the year 1996, 97? There's a crisis. Can someone type in the chat, tell me what's the crisis?
Randy replied, Asian financial crisis.
Yeah, Randy. Okay. True, it's the Asian financial crisis, right? I know the numbers on my side is a bit small. I will write it out bigger for you. In Asian financial crisis, the average price dropped by 36%. I write a bit bigger. This is a price drop in the year 1996 to 98. Is it a lot? Quite a lot. Quite a lot. And this can also result in bank margin call if your valuation really drop below the limit that they have. All right, so this could be a big problem then. Next, let's look at in year 2000. Okay, someone put in the chat group what happened then. The
Randy says .com.
.com, Randy.
.com crisis.
Randy, I think I must give you a special prize. You're the one the most about it. So it's a .com bubble burst. So in the year .com bubble burst, right, what is the adjustment downwards? It's 29%. All right. In the year 2000 to maybe about 2001 is 29% downward side. Okay. Quite a lot also. Almost better than 96, 97. Definitely is still about 30%. It's quite a big number. Okay. And then of course, if followed by SARS, things continue to go down, correct? So remember SARS period, so it continue to go down. And then things start to recover after SARS. And then in 2008, that period, what is the next big event that happened? Anyone except Randy can share with me. Yeah, what happened in that year? Oh, Randy can share. You're my best supporter now. Yeah.
Randy says global financial crisis.
Okay. What kind of financial crisis is that? Can someone recall? Yeah, it's actually called the Lehman Brothers. Right? Lehman Brothers. So during Lehman Brothers, from these 2 points, we see that they actually went up by about 14%. All right. Okay. This is in Lehman prices. Okay. It seems to be improving. Yeah, good. Our property market seems to get improved when it drops in the major crisis. And then do you see below this chart, there's a lot of C. You see a lot of C. Then what is all this C? All this C actually probably Asian we don't like one. It's called cooling measures. So after that, there's a series of cooling measures. And then what happened in the year 2019, 2020 here? Why is this big world event? Can anybody recall why is this event?
When this is COVID?
COVID, yes, just recent COVID law. Exactly, this is a COVID law. So how much has the market went down? About 7%. Okay, so what did we see here? It seems like going from crisis to crisis, right? We have managed better and better. Do you see that? Things seems to be get better after each crisis. All right. Why is it so? Especially from the year, you see from 2008 onwards, right? Do you see all these cooling measures that's happening? Our market now is actually much more regulated. Okay. Before, I still remember when I first entered the industry, there's no TDSR, there's no a lot of loan restriction and all that. In fact, I think we can just buy off a property with without much income requirement on multiple properties. So a lot of people actually during that period can flip property on no seller stamp duty, right? No ABSD. So the market become very speculative. Foreigner can also come and buy without much barrier. So in a speculative market, when there's a crisis, what will happen? People may not be able to afford or they really need to sell. So it may cause a big crash in the market, you see. So if you ask me, right, going from crisis to crisis, right, Singapore has actually managed better and better over the years. So if you look at the numbers, it seems to be better at the moment, all right? Okay, so does it mean no more risk already? Does it mean now no risk can just go ahead and anyhow buy? Yes or no? Answer is no. Answer is no. We still have to be very careful, right? So I just want to blow up some of the numbers for you. This is Asia financial crisis, right? 36% went down, right? .com bubble, 29%, all right? This is Lehman Brothers went up by 14%. And of course, this is COVID went up by 7%. Okay, COVID, in fact, if it's not for all these cooling measures, right, COVID, we might have an even bigger drop in the property prices. Yeah, and in fact, if we compare ourselves maybe to country like Hong Kong, right, I think our property market is much stable. Yeah. So I must say that good job to the government or MMD for really putting all the cooling measure in place and all the policies in place so that our market is a stable one. It's not a speculative one. All right. Okay, so what's the difference between today's market and yesterday market? Right. First thing I observe, we already cut out most of the speculative portion. Okay, because today if you want to buy a property, right? Second, third, or fourth, is there ABSD? Yes, there is. If you want to sell, can you sell quick? No. There's also your ABSD involved and your seller stamp duty involved. And most important today, do we have this thing called a TDSR? Okay, the total debt servicing ratio. You must be able to afford, or they don't allow you to over leverage. Right? And compared to the past on property ownership, last time you can buy 2, 3, 4 and easily, right? And also foreign ownership. Today, Bernard, what is the ABSD for a foreigner?
Wow, it's about 60%.
60%, my friend. So looking at the 60% ABSD, what does it really want to do? What does the government really want to do? They want to count out the very speculative investors from overseas, right? We want the real domestic demand here to support the market, right? Always remember, if your domestic market cannot support the property market, right, then there will be a problem. Because in any country, most of the people that buys the property or needs the property will be the domestic demand. Maybe I ask everyone the question. Okay, if there's a crisis today, do you need to panic sell? Or you think you can still afford and hold for maybe for another 1 year or two? Okay, maybe you can just write. If you can hold, you can just put one. If you cannot, you might need to panic sell, you can put a two. You just wait for the response. Now it's very important because whatever you put there is a good reflection of what is currently happening in the market. Yeah, whether people can or cannot.
So far, Kelvin and Randy put one.
Put one. So don't need correct. Okay. Yeah, in fact, I also ask myself, if there's a crisis coming today, do I really need to panic sell or hurry sell my house? I think I don't need, because what we have is this thing called the buffer. Should something happens, I think my savings is able to afford, or my CPF is able to be there enough to buffer me throughout. Okay, of course, okay, unless the crisis is going on for another 10, 20 years, of course, then we don't say that. But I think for a couple of years, I think easily not a problem for most of people. Right. So when we talk about this, then we find that actually things are actually pretty stable in our market. Next, okay, I also want to show you this very interesting chart, because one of my customers actually asked me, he said, hey, John, how come Singapore property can go more and more expensive, and yet people can still buy, right? And today we are talking about a new launch, easily is 2,000 and above, maybe 2,2. Okay, those in RCI maybe 2,5, 2,6. Yeah. So Singaporean really can afford this kind of purchase. So let me just bring you back to all this crisis period. Okay, let's look at .com period at the year 2000. Okay, and I compare it to household income, residential household, right? Okay, what is a residential household? It defined as a Singapore citizen or permanent resident household, right? Okay, with at least one employed person. Okay, this is the definition I got from SingStat. All right, why is it important? Because the income of Singaporean is directly related to what? The affordability of Singaporean to buy a property. Am I correct? All right. Okay, so you see in the year 2000, okay, 2001, 2002, this period I graduated. Okay, right. You see how much is our income? Those who have graduated with me almost the same period. We must divide by 2 lah. You know why not? Because this is household, maybe husband, wife working. So most of our starting pay maybe are 2,000 plus. Bring forward to 2023. You see what's the average household? Hey, 11,000. Okay, this residential household. Employed house is 12,000. Right? So you see the income actually increased. And in fact, after every crisis, I noticed see after this period of crisis, our income picked up, right? Quite a little bit. Lehman Brothers, after the income also pick up quite a little bit. COVID also the income started to pick up, right? So if our government can continue to let us has an increasing pay over the years, I believe our property price can continue to go up, okay, in the long term. right? Today I must do my disclaimer. I'm not here to tell you, wow, I can spot this property immediately you buy. In the next year you have made what? Wow, how many percent? Okay, I think nobody can promise that. Okay, and I'm not God. I don't want to make such a prediction. But of course, there are certain things that we can look at to help you make more informed decision. Okay, your chance of losing money is lesser. Maybe we lower the risk. Okay, always remember in investment, okay, we cannot manage the return. We cannot promise any return, but we can promise what? Or we can manage what? We can manage this thing called the risk. Okay, so in our style of planning, we actually talk about a lot of risk management. All right. Okay, I move on. Next. This is a very interesting article in Business Time on 7 June 2024. Okay, it talks about the Singapore household net worth, right? And in fact, this year, quarter one, our household net worth continued to go up by 8% in quarter one. But that's amazing, right? One quarter, 8%. Can you imagine? I times by four quarter, wow, our household net worth can go up by 24%. Yeah, I sometimes also wonder, hey, am I part of the stats that have this 24% a year if I times it by 4? This is the chart that is very important. Right? Why is this chart very important? Because if I want to know whether Singaporean do they have the money to buy housing, which number I want to look at? I look at these two things. Number one, currency and deposit. Okay, because we use cash to buy a house, am I right? Number two, I'll look at CPF. All right. Okay. So can you see these numbers compared to public housing and compared to private housing? First thing you realize, our CPF is almost the same percentage points as our public housing. The total value. So can you imagine how much CPF we have? If everyone were to liquidate their CPF today and all the money we can put in the property market, you can buy the property one round, right? And how about private housing? Not far off, probably about 6% off it. So actually, a lot of us are actually sitting, or a lot of people are sitting on a lot of currency and deposit plus CPF. So actually, there's a lot of people waiting on the sideline, see whether they can afford to buy, is whether they want or not. That's my view. Second thing, I also realized okay, public housing is almost 20% of our total market, right? Your private housing is about 25. I add them together, right? Say it's about 45%, right? Correct? Total, about 45% of the market. Okay, so can I ask everyone, if you are the government today and your demographic, right, is holding 45% of their net worth in real estate, would you anyhow allow your property market to go haywire? Would you allow a big crash or a speculative increase in the price or a bubble in the market? This is something I really want you all to think about. You can see CPF is an important component of retirement. So, CPF has a lot of rules to protect every one of us as an account holder. Okay, why? Because it's important. But looking at our property market, right, total net worth is 45. Okay, we must really look after this sector, right? And move on, right? So the next question, John, hey, should we wait or not? Okay, because there's many launches coming out. Will developer discount? Will price come lower? So to attempt to answer this question, I come up with a few pointers, right? First, we want to look at the developers' pricing going forward. So what I've done is I consolidate in my best ability, okay, on two things. Number one, the government land sales, GLS. That means, every half a year, government announce which land plot they want to sell, right? And they will open for tender. So when they tender, what's the price? It's over here. It's called PSF PPR, per square foot per plot ratio. Right. Also look at en bloc, previous en bloc. Those units that has done en bloc, right? Because en bloc already they must demolish the place and then rebuild, am I correct? Okay, then what is the expected selling price? I believe as the starting price. Okay, of course, I may be wrong in these numbers. All right. So far, I guess it's quite okay based on my track record. All right, I've done many seminars, so far it's okay. But of course, things can change because construction costs can go up. Okay, things can change. These I believe are the starting price. So can I say, looking at this chart, The average I would say is around maybe 25, 26, this range. This is average. Maybe this range, or maybe a little bit more here. Do you see that? Okay, so are we seeing anything that the developer can sell at maybe 2,000 flat? Maybe not. Okay, the way I look at it. Maybe going forward, I felt that a lot of pricing will be around the range of 2.4, 2.6 range. Yeah, that is my guess. Right. So having said that, then is it time to wait? Right. So it depends. It depends. Let's say, for example, today I'm looking at a property and the average price is maybe 4,000. Okay, and the take up is very slow. Also, maybe I want to wait because it's way above the average, and I may have believe that the developer may not sell out. I may want to wait a little while. Whereas if I'm looking at a project, probably is about 2,223. Not much of them going to sell in the future, right? Okay, so I may want to take action now. All right. So there's something for you to think about, but at least you know what is the average going forward. Next thing I also want to highlight is the construction cost. Okay, this is actually really quite scary. It's just like inflation. Okay, this I take from AsianInfraSolutions.com, the information. Actually done a comparison on pre-COVID versus Q3 2023, which is about close to a year ago. How much the construction cost increased. You can see our labor costs increased by almost 50%. Concrete prices 23%. Steel prices go up by 16%. Of course, this is something we hope that will go down. Okay, the interest costs, right? So if you look at these numbers, I don't think this developer is going to sell cheap, right? Because their cost is escalating. Their break even is even higher. All right. I still remember about close to 10 years ago when I do my course, when we estimate the average construction cost, it's actually very, very low. Today, I think almost I have to times it by 2. All right. Okay. Next, okay, let's look at a real example. Okay, is it worth the wait? Okay, I just give you example of this condo called the Normanton Park. Okay, you all know recently TOP, right? Yeah, a little while, not that recent, but a little while ago. Yeah. And let's look at how the numbers go. In the launch day or the launch month, it sells 622 units. Very good. At about 1,007 per square foot. All right. Okay, so this is what happened to developer. At first they launch, they have a certain number of sales done. They are not so stressed. So what happened to them? They can, of course, increase price, correct? Because as my condo sells up, people are willing to buy a higher price. I will be willing to sell a higher price also, So they start to slowly increase price, you see. So do you see from January to April, right, the price has actually picked up by 1.3%, right? And then after that, May all the way to March 2022, you see the price went up all the way to 1,008. The increase is from here to here. Sorry, here to I backtrack, to around October 2021, they increased by another 2.5%. And then from October 2021 to March 2022, they increased by another 2.7%. So in this project, if I want to wait, what will happen to me? First of all the choice unit will be taken, right? All the maybe better unit, more better investment grade or whatever people will pick up first, right? And as I wait, I thought the price will drop. It didn't. It actually went up in total about 5 to 6% more. All right. So in this case, is it worth the wait? Maybe not. However, if the graph is going down or the thing don't sell out and developer can give discount, then we should wait. All right. Next, let's look at recently this project called Grand Diamond. Okay, anybody know where is this place? Any idea where is this Grand Diamond? Okay, very near Dakota, if you know. This is very near Dakota area. Okay, and this is what happened. Okay, look at the price. In the initial launch, it's about 536 units, correct? They cleared quite a number already. Okay, so as you see, as the months go, the price went up. In the peak, it actually went up about 4.3%. From beginning until now is about 2.8%. Right, you see price has really moved. Right, so while waiting, what happened? People have to pay a little bit more. Right. Okay, Next, of course, maybe I just do a poll, make a guess. I think it's a very easy guess. You think interest rate will goes up or down? Yeah, if you think will go up, right, you put a one. Will go down, you put a two. I think it's an open secret. Okay. Most people will expect it to go down. Yeah. So let's wait for the announcement. But my question is, if today they already announced that the interest rate is going to go down, what will happen? Okay, first thing, when the cost of the interest has went down, does it mean that the cost of financing has went down? Maybe I used to pay 5,000 per month installment, but because of a low interest rate, what happened to me? Maybe I pay a 4,000 or even 4,005, right? So will it actually helps me to be able to buy a property now? The answer is yes. Yeah, lor. And of course, this one I won't guess, but our TDSR is also pegged to the market rate, correct? So let's say if interest rate continues to go down, what may happen to TDSR? It may be loser, and then it may be less tight. Okay, correct. So what happened? I may be able to have a bigger quantum loan, as what Randy has said. You're right. So do you see that this interest rate actually plays a big role? So while in an interest rate falling environment, it actually helps to stimulate the property prices to go up. Yeah, there'll be more buying interest. Whatever we share here is purely for educational purpose. Okay, so if you want to take any action, please find the correct advisor or whoever that's invited you here to plan well. All right. Of course, the speaker here, between me and Bernard, we could have some interest in the properties that we are going to present. Okay, so we just say that we'll present it based on what we know. All right, we might have a conflict of interest. I want to declare to you all. Of course, all the information are only for illustration purposes, right? We do our best to make sure that the information is accurate. Next, I think I'll hand over the time to Bernard.
I think one of the main questions that we receive a lot from the ground and also from clients is that, hey, with about 2,000 over units coming out in many of the projects in Q3 and Q4, and with the low interest rates coming down, right? They're asking, hey, so what is a good buy now moving forward, right? So today what we're going to do is going to look at particularly 3 condos in North area and how we actually grade them. So we do have in our team, we do have a system of grading these condominiums. We call it the 25-star system. And in general, if let's say a development hits the 12-star and above, is something that's worth considering. So these are some of the factors we look at. Okay. Now the first one I want to look at is this one upcoming one called Chuan Park. Now recently there's been a lot of talk among my friends about Long Chuan. In fact, just recently I actually helped a family who stays at Fernvale, a HDB flat. They actually sell their HDB flat. So when I asked them, hey, where do you want to move to? Initially I thought, because their children are studying nearby, they want to go back to maybe Punggol or Sengkang. Hey, but he specifically asked for Long Chuan. So I was like, hey, well, so curious, why the change, right? So one of the main things I noticed about Long Chuan and what he told me is that for Long Chuan, right, there is 1 kilometer to good schools, right? And as a parent myself, who went through the balloting for primary 1 last year, having 3 primary schools in 1 kilometer to my residents actually lowers the anxiety a lot, right? In the event my first choice, my children don't get in, at least I have some backup. So he feels that this reason of having primary schools actually supports the prices of the area very well. Because he was thinking of 15 to 20 years later when he retires, he wants to sell off the condo and then downgrade. So he wants the price of the house to maintain, if not go up, right? And the reason also why we gave this development 14 stars, right? Also because this upcoming Australian International School, right, which will be a very potential tenant catchment area. Already there is a Stanford American School. So we feel that maybe the 2-bedroom units there probably going to attract a lot of the investors. Because in terms of amenities, this location is just 1 kilometer to NEX on the east side, and so to Junction 8 on the west side. And if you just cross the road, if you're familiar with this area, there's a new tech park, which is sort of a mix of a commercial and industrial building. So if you go there, you actually can enjoy restaurants and eateries over there, right? In terms of transportation, of course, Long Chuan Park is just one step to Long Chuan MRT station. It's basically just downstairs. If you happen to drive, it's just about 3 minutes to the city. So very convenient, right? Now, of course, one of the main things that we all looked at, of course, for Chuan Park is that, this area is famous for being serene. And because it's a private residential area, there's a lot of low traffic moving around this area. So one of the concerns is that for Chuan Park, because it's going to add in about 900 over units, and not to mention, just there's going to be a new plot of land that's going to be balloting, right, for sale, for government land sale. There's going to be about 550 units. So in total, this area is going to be increasing to about 3,500 units, and Chuan Park takes about 30%. So if you're considering this area, one of the things that you should think about will be, would this increase in residences cause traffic congestion in the roads, especially leading to the CTE, right? And also, will it cause congestion as well in the MRT station itself? So these are the considerations. That's why we didn't grade it very high. Okay. Okay, one of the main questions, because this condo has not launched, right? People are asking us, hey, what do you think could be the selling price, right? So to do that, we actually looked at this developer Kingsford and what is their track record in terms of pricing. So one of the developments they just did was Momentum Park, right? So if you notice Momentum Park, the break-even price for a cost, sorry, was about 1,005. And based on their past transactions, they actually sold a 20% margin, about 1,804 per square feet. Correct. So that will be somewhere where we felt that would be his margin. And so based on that, right, and also the break-even price of Chuan Park at 2,002, we estimate the launch price on average can be about 2,006. Okay, which also means for a 3-bedroom, you're looking somewhere around 2.6 million, and a 4-bedroom about 3.2 million. So does that make Chuan Park competitive? Right. So we looked at the resale developments around the area within 1 kilometer. And based on the condos which had the higher PSF transactions recently, we noticed that on the average, the PSF is about 2,001. But however, we look at the quantum for the 3-bedroom in these condos, we noticed that the residents here have already accepted getting 3-bedroom units around the range of 2.5 to 3 million. So remember just now Chuan Park, the 3-bedroom, we estimate is going to be about 2,006, 2,007 million. So I would say that in terms of the quantum wise, probably more acceptable, right? Of course, whether you felt that it's competitive because of the PSF is subject to the individual buyer. So if let's say we're at 2006, you're just thinking, hey, is there something other projects they can consider if you cannot wait for the Chuan Park launch? Because all around the same circle line, on the west side, there is a development called Here at One North, which is at Buona Vista, right? So that one is a 3-bedroom. You notice it goes about 2.5 million. If you go to the east side, also along the circle line, there at Dakota, is a development called Grand Diamond. So at the 3-bedroom, there is also about 2.5 million. So this is what you can get around the same, almost an equidistance to the city as Chuan Park itself. Okay, the next development that we also hear a lot of news on is Norwood Grand, which is coming up on the new area of Woodlands South. So this is very interesting because just recently, as you know, the Woodlands South MRT station is up in the Thomson East Coast Line, right? So this area has started to have some activities. We graded this development for 15 stars. Okay, one of the main things we graded at 15 is because this development also 1 kilometer has about 3 primary schools. So for parents with young children balloting the primary one, this is something that is desirable, right? And of course, in terms of the competition, interestingly, within 500 meters of this development, okay, we talk about the east side of Woodlands Avenue 2, right? There isn't any other new condo. So this is actually the first one. So this is what we will consider a first mover advantage for condominium. It's within a short walking distance to Woodlands South. And but so we look at, again, what do you think could be the launch price for Norwood Grand? So we look back at CDL, the last development they did was this condo EC called Puremont Grand. Okay, so based on the same thing, based on the break-even cost, Previously, they sold an average, the margins about 17%. So we are looking at somewhere the same. Okay. So based on that analysis, right, for normal grant, we foresee the launch price will be about 1,900 per square feet, which makes a 3-bedroom about 1.9 million to almost 2 million. Does that make a normal grant competitive? So when we took a look at the condominiums nearby within 1 kilometer, what we noticed was that for condos like Park Rosewood and even like Twin Fountains, right, which was TOP like maybe about 10 years, 12 years ago, right, they are actually only transacting about 1,300 per square feet, and the highest is about 1,005. What's more critical, I noticed, is that for the 3 bedrooms for these condos, they're actually selling an average about 1.3 million. So here's a concern that we have is that if you are 2 million for the normal grant, it's something untested and unknown. This is a new price in this area. So there is that specific risk that for any buyer who wants to take this, who's considering normal grant to take, because we do not know in terms of the future resale, would the next buyer be willing to accept price that's coming up almost 2,000 per square feet and above, when the other resale condos nearby is only transacting at 1,003, or maybe in the future, maybe 1,004, 1,005. And if that's at this price, right, but this PSA 1,009, what else is available in the market? Of course, on the west side, there's still this condo called The Arden, which is around the Teck Whye side. Also selling about 1.9 million. Okay, on the east side, Loyang, you have this development called the Shorefront. I think transacting is slightly lower, and average about 1.7 million. Right, so these are some options available if, let's say, you are not able to wait and you have a budget of around this for a 3-bedroom. Okay. Okay, the last one we will look at is Ontario has already launched, and comparing to the other two, we actually gave this about a 16 star. And main thing why we wanted to take a look at this is because particularly on a transformation that's happening at Lentor. So based on our previous seminar, we actually spoke very in detail on this. That between Lentor and Springleaf, there's actually a big piece of land that the government has cordoned off as residential, right? And based on the size, although it's not mentioned, we would speculate it's going to be like a HDB estate, the next HDB estate, probably at the size of somewhere around Punggol, right? So this is going to be the ones that's the HDB upgraders who's going to support the prices of the condos in the area, right? And also, not to mention for Lentoria, it's also 1 kilometer to St. Nicholas Girls' School, a very popular oversubscribed school. And well, we've also a backup, as I mentioned, right? As in Anderson Primary School. So these are some factors that contribute to the 16 star. What is interesting enough is we look at the margins for Lentorius, right? So we go with the same analysis in terms of how we estimate the margins for developer. So TID, right, previously developed One North Eden. And based on that, the margin they had for this development was about 19%. So that was the average. But what you notice is that for Lentorius as of now, historically, the average transacted PSF is about 2,150, which is only about 8% margin. So this is actually something we'll bring up, because 8% margin is a very, very low margin for a developer who's selling their units. So is there still good units available in Ontario to take advantage of? And most importantly is that we look, again, we look at the resale condos in the area, right? We noticed that for the newer condos, even the older ones, they're really transacting about 1,009, 1,700 PSF. Even for Panorama, it's really transacting at 2,155 PSF, which is very close to the average of Lentoria. And this is about 7 years old already, right? And it's not even near the MRT. So this is actually a very safe buffer if we feel that for a buyer who's looking to enter into the Lentor area. So what are the good news, right? So in terms of the 4-bedroom, what we have actually looked at and sorted out, filtered out, right? We saw that there are actually some 4-bedrooms that are actually good margins. For example, over here on the left, we have actually a low floor pool facing, right? Usually pool facing, most of the thing, well, usually that's where the premium is. For this developer, not true. So we have this low floor pool facing unit is only selling at 2,154, which is only about 8% margin. And also, if let's say you're looking at someone that is more garden facing, well, we even have one that's selling at 2,074 PSF, which is 4%, even lower than the average, right? And these are transacting at prices slightly about 2.6, 2.7 for the 4-bedroom. In the 3-bedroom, the margins wise a bit higher, but we're still managing to get good deals. For example, the one on the right, for buyers who are looking that they don't mind a low floor road facing, they even can find units that be able to transact 4% margin, right? Of course, if you are looking at a slightly higher floor, some may think that, wow, that's a very, it's going to pay a very high premium. But not true. Even for a high floor, right? There are some units, 3-bedroom, only about 10% margin. So it's not really far from the usual margins that this developer has been charging for such a high floor, right? And among 2 bedrooms for the investors, you are looking at going in as an investment and you don't pay too high. Oh, there are actually units available still. There are a 9% and 4% margin. And if you're looking at somewhere that you're going to stay for yourself and you prefer higher floor for 2-bedroom, you can see on the left-hand side at 2,164 per square feet, it's only about 9%, right? Still very affordable. Okay. So, but of course, you will think, hey, how does this developer earn money if everything also sells cheap, correct? Well, one of the things that we also noticed that is the really high margin units that the developer is getting from is usually the 1-bedroom, right? So for example, if you look at the one on the left, even for 1-bedroom, low floor, right? So as I mentioned, right, pool facing, you expect a premium. For this case, it is, right? So this one, they're selling at 2,400. So compared to the 4-bedroom earlier, also low floor, pool facing, but this is 8%, right? The 1-bedroom is 20%. So that's the difference. They're actually charging to actually get back the profit margin on overall. And also some of the 3-bedrooms, right, that they're charging, although, that we felt that there could be a bit of price discrepancy because for low floor road facing, they're actually charging at 2,470 per square feet, right, 24%. So that's so our job in general when it comes to selecting units for our clients, is usually look out for all these small gems that there's a bit of mispricing so that our clients can take advantage of these. Right. So of course, for today, if let's say anyone is interested to find out a bit more about the really good deals at Lentoria, or even if you want to find out more details about Chuan Park or Norwood Grand, those that you mentioned before, you can just direct message the person who invited you, and then we can be able to share a bit more information on that. Right? Okay, so in that case, we'll pass it back to John, right, to sum it up.
All right, thank you, Bernard. Yeah, I really appreciate all that the work that we've done. So those who are on the Zoom, maybe we can just give Bernard some encouragement. We can say thank you to him, or those on my Facebook, we can just say some encouragement words for him, right? Because he spent a lot of time to look at all the numbers. Yeah, but another thing that's very important that I want to just share with you, because we noticed that because of the activity picking up, and the good thing now is it's not because people are buying that we need to rush, or there's never a reason to buy because we need to rush, but we do observe there are good deals in the market right now, because especially when things are not moving very fast, there are gems here and there that we can actually pick up. And remember the slide that I showed you just now, well, there are projects that are still starting to sell out, or they need to sell out, right? They actually are still at a very good price range. The price has not really picked up. Of course, there are projects that really increase price already, or price that's already being sell on the higher end. So I think what is very important now is, before you make any property decision, it's good to really sit down with a good advisor who can actually help you to plan properly, right? And that's why if you have been following me and Bernard, we have this system that we actually sit down with you and plan for you. How can you enter the market safely? Where are the good deals? And of course, it's not just about buying. How about the exit plans? Right. Of course, today, Bernard, we don't have the time to do all this. It's already coming to 8:30. Right. So what we can do is you can always give us a message for those who really want to know Okay, or even you may not want to buy now. You will say, hey, John or Bernard, I want to plan in the next 1 or 2 years down the road. Or maybe I just want to know whether am I eligible to buy or what can I do, what are my options. That's where we can actually sit down with your advisor and then we actually tell you the different options. Okay, I always believe, right, a good advisor or a good property advisor is one that can give you the different options of what to do. It's not one that tell you, oh, this is the best or whatever. You must always remember, we as advisor, we give you the options and you are the one who decide. Based on what? Based on your criteria, based on your risk profile, because some people can take more risk, some can take lesser, and based on what you have in mind. Okay, so we are there to give you new ideas or things that you have not seen.